Hello, and thanks for watching this website review. Today we are looking at the PDSA website. We've carried out a review and this video shows some of the usability issues that we found. The website scored 75 out of 100 on our user experience scorecard. It's not bad, good in fact, but plenty of room for improvement. So let's start with the homepage. Firstly, it's clear to the user what the goal of this website is. Straight away we have 3 calls to action to donate and some compelling explanations. So if a user has come to the site to donate, they will certainly know where to go. On the other hand, our user who is looking for veterinary care is not quite as well supported. There are links to find your nearest PDSA and taking care of your pet, but the offer of free and low-cost veterinary care to poorly pets in need is not immediately obvious. Now, it will depend on the goals set for the website, but it may be worth looking at making this value proposition more obvious. In other words, what can the PDSA do for me? So now on to the website content. And firstly, a small but important point. Some of the hero images don't scale very well on large screens and do become quite pixelated. And when you're relying on powerful and emotive imagery or image-led design, it's important that they really make an impact, and I don't think they're quite hitting the mark. The next point is about the headings and the call to action buttons. When a user scans the homepage, for example, it's very likely that the headings are missed, because the call to action buttons are so prominent. This isn't a problem in itself, but it does lead to heavy reliance on the wording used in the call to action button. So there are some good examples where the active word is used first, so donate would be one of those, and there are some that are not so good. Here we have a couple of read mores and a check today, and these just aren't meaningful links. And it affects accessibility as well. For example, some users with visual impairments only read the links. It saves them time. So more meaningful calls to action would help them as well. I also wanted to draw your attention to the Choosing a Pet tool. Firstly, there's a switch to using icons, which is different to the rest of the site, which on its own isn't necessarily a bad thing. But here they do present a usability issue. They look like buttons that can be clicked, and in fact they can, but actually nothing happens. It is not obvious that they are linked to the form below, and also they behave like tabs, not buttons. The problem is made worse on smaller screens, such as tablets, where you can't see the form below at all. There's no feedback that anything has happened, and no error message. Now the knock-on effect here is that users are more likely to abandon this process. But more importantly, they'll start to lose a little bit of trust in the website as a whole. So next is a quick point about the menus. The headings are fine, but there's this white space which is rather unconventional in the menus. So this is an issue because it actually suggests that maybe something's missing. And it's unintuitive and it's not what people expect. Regarding email sign-up, the issue here is it simply doesn't explain what you're signing up to. And the same is true of the sign-in button. There's simply no explanation of what value this provides. And if you do sign up, you encounter an issue where the toggle switches for your preferences are very hard to determine whether they're in the yes state or the no state, which could lead to some misunderstanding. Now search is where the site scored the lowest on our scorecard. I'll explain why. Firstly, it's a little bit slow, and it needs some work on what the search results bring up. For example, searching for a phone number brings up a story about a dog with a bladder stone the size of an orange. It's missing some features. There's no type ahead suggestions or related queries, and whilst filters are in place, I'd be interested to see some data on how often they're used and how useful they are. The search also doesn't search all of the site. For example, PDSA Vet Care Joint Care for Dogs 150 tablets is the first featured product on the pet store. But when you search for it, you get the Western Supermare charity shop. And lastly, accessibility. Running the site through a web accessibility evaluation tool shows a number of areas that could make the website hard to use for people with disabilities. For example, the donation page here has 16 accessibility errors on it. Right, well that just about wraps things up for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has been helpful. Until next time, goodbye.